Never mind your liver, get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino Spot on Thursday. Thursday is our new regular night, indeed. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30, and of course we rebroadcast the Thursday show on Saturdays. So make sure that you click on the YouTube Gino Spot. It's YouTube.com/Gino Spot, and then you can click on subscribe. Ding, ding, the little bell, and then you can get known. You can get notified of all the shows that are coming up as well, and also you can look at all the past shows too, which have been fantastic. It's like 200 million shows that we have done tonight. No, not so many, but close, Brian Wilkinson, welcome on board tonight on Thursday, and thank you to our sponsors as well, Fitch and Leeds and Spa. Always we thank our sponsors because they've been bloody marvelous over this time, and we've had such a line of amazing guests. And tonight we've got Paul Wolff. We're going to be talking about the Ironman, and we're going to find out a bit about Paul Wolff and see if we can dig out some information that could be interesting to everybody, and also tell us a little bit about his personality as well. I sense that he's a bit OCD. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, the I was just had a look at the news today. I was just looking, and PE, now known as Gqeberha, is apparently searched for. On these ones. All right, we're just going to replace the battery. I don't know why this battery's gone flat. Gqeberha is the most searched for place in Property 24 at the moment, which is quite amazing. We've beaten out Joburg, which means that people are coming into PE and looking for properties, which means, ladies and gentlemen, from PE and probably from East London as well, we don't know about, everybody will follow in the end, but your property values are going to go up. That's for sure. I know that it's going to be the case. And I think this is also going to. Oh, there we go. We're right. Or we cashed out with this one. I don't know. I'm not so trusting the batteries now. All of a sudden, right? There we go. Camilla, Herman to Blanche. How's it, Herman to Blanche? Lekker to have you. Good evening, he says. And Camilla Ellis as well. Lovely to have you on. Also, yeah, tonight to this evening. Consider this evening, because it's not tonight yet, because it's not, the sun hasn't gone down, but the valley looks just beautiful. The sun is coming across and shining on Tim Fraser's house right at the corner. Oh man. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino Spot. Let me know where you're watching from and what you're drinking, because I've got myself a little gin and tonic here. Indeed, and in fact it's a gin and dry lemon with a bit of something else in it to make it pink. I don't know why it's colored, but it's lekker. It's very nice. So let me sing a little song for you, and I think Ronald Minnar is here as well. So early in the morning. Well done for waking up again at this time of morning in New Zealand. We've got a couple of people from all over the world watching, which is fantastic. I love it. So that you can get a little bit of a taste of home. A little taste of home, indeed. Oh, I've got a bit of rock and roll music. Any old time you use it. Michael Clements there, taking pictures of the beachfront. He says it's hump day today. I think it's hump day every day for you. Think it's hump day everybody. And Ronald Minnar's here. He says good morning. Seems a bit strange over here, but the world's that big. There also Ironman's there. I got the rock and roll music. Any old time you choose it. And Alan Carter's music. How's a good evening from the UK? That's right, everybody around the world. The internet makes that fun. Makes it possible for us. And then Wendy Thompson's there. Good evening from the South End. Brian Wilkinson. Gino, you are an Iron Man. I don't really think that's a good way to describe me, because I'm not running that far. Brendan Kelly's there. Home for a change. Whiskey in hand. Yes, your wife's there with you. And every time you go away, come over to stay. All right. Oh, Brendan Kelly, I'm glad you're home with your wife. Michelle must be missing you again. You know, always traveling, always traveling. Thelma Bardenhorst. Hello, Thelma from Durban, drinking Pepsi Max. Oh, dear, you'll have to switch over to Fitchin Leeds, please, because, you know, Pepsi's very out of fashion. It's very uncool to drink Pepsi. You know, it's very cool to drink Fitchin Leeds. It's just the fashion, the way fashion works. And yeah, it's funny. That's fantastic to see people all over the globe. Ronald wakes up every morning in New Zealand at 5 o'clock to 5:30 to watch us. And then he heads off to work. And absolutely marvelous. Marvelous. I love that. It'll start your day in New Zealand. Thank you also to Fat Cats for providing some food for us. They come around on Tuesdays and give us food. And if there's leftovers left, we can eat it on a Thursday. But we ate it all. We finished eating it. And then also, of course, we're punting tonight. We're punting as well. Thanks, Keith Clark. He's got a bit of punters here. We're punting here on Gino Spot as per always. I see we got a bit of Gazbarov too, a little bit of vodka, you know. And I see that the guys are getting ginned up or vodka'd up there in the Ukraine, ready to go. Let's have a little bit of a message from our Fitchin Leeds sponsor before we get our amazing guest on, Mr. Paul Wolff. All right, let's hit it.
Fitchin Leeds, you've got to mix it, that'll fix you on the table.
Fitchin Leeds, the bespoke mixer for the discerning individual. All right, we're just getting the mics sorted out here. Welcome, Paul Wolff.
Cheers, thank you.
All right, I'm going to put this down there because I think we're okay with the mics here over here. And let's hope I don't run out of batteries too much here.
It's getting a bit flat.
Yeah, I went a bit flat. I don't know. I took the wrong batteries. I think I took the flat ones. But cheers to you and welcome on the show.
Thanks for the invite.
It's a pleasure. I've been after you for a while. You know, every race that I've seen, or every I saw you at the nurses race a little while ago. I remember and had a chat, and I've been wanting to get you. Yes, your daughter won.
Yeah, but she was very embarrassed when I knew all the songs you were singing.
Oh,
I was
really?
singing with you and dancing. She was very embarrassed.
No, cool. Dad for dads, it's not cool.
No, not cool, Dad to dance.
But you obviously you are an incredible athlete yourself. I know that because we met at Achilles. Achilles is the 10th Woman 10th Avenue club at the golf club. If anybody wants to have a nice little run, if on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you're not watching Gino Spot, you can go beforehand and just have a quick run.
To get back in.
Because I haven't been able to go because I'm doing the shows on Tuesday and Thursday. But a lovely club, and there are quite a few around. I mean, the Charlotte guys seem to be really popular. I don't know what the biggest. You know what the biggest club in PE is?
I think it's changed. To be honest with you, it used to be a PE club. But yeah.
Okay.
Clubs, for some strange reason, just don't seem to be doing as well as they used to in our younger days.
Yeah, okay.
They seem to be
Yeah.
on a downward trend
Uh,
for sad reasons, but yeah.
And I mean, it's talking about. I mean, you're obviously very involved with Ironman, but which is the cycling, the running, and the swimming.
Yeah.
But the cycling seems to really have taken off over the last, I'd say, over the last 10 years, for sure. But I don't know, probably even before that.
Yeah, to be honest, when I grew up running, there were a lot more runners. It's
Yeah.
an aging sport now. It's not a sexy sport at the moment for some reason.
Yeah, the running. Yeah.
So you're not getting all the youngsters coming through.
Yeah.
When I was running competitive at UPE in those days,
Yeah.
we had a huge squad of middle distance runners. You just
Yeah.
don't get that anymore, which is very sad.
What's the designation for short distance, middle distance thing? What is it? Kind of
850, no.
Okay, no.
Track.
Okay, track.
850 up to 3,000.
Okay,
So that was middle distance.
Is that middle distance? Okay.
And there were 20 of us running very, very competitively in those days, and
Wow.
I was probably at the tail end.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy by the name of Cliffy Miller, phenomenal 800 meter runner. I mean, the Volkswagen Prestige we used to have at the UP athletics track.
Yes.
You just couldn't get in. It was this huge event.
Zit
You just don't
atletiek.
get there. Atletiek.
Atletiek
Nee, hy was groot, ja. Baie
Spiesgoeie
groot.
en hy shoot goed.
Ja.
Yes, sir. Hoërskool Framesby was always the one I remember. Whenever we went to the Oval, you do your sports day at school.
Yeah.
And you'd gooi the spiesgoeie and you'd win because nobody else had ever done it.
And the triple jump.
Yeah, there's it, the triple jump.
But
And then you
yeah.
go to the Oval and you come against Hoërskool Framesby and then they show you what's what.
Yeah, so you were talking about the cycling. So the mountain
Yes.
biking is taken over virtually from the soccer. From soccer,
so-
from golf.
okay.
All the... look at
golfers.
all the... No, in the old days, business was done on a golf course.
Yes.
Now business is done on a mountain bike. If you look at it, there's all these multi-stage events. You don't get them in the rest of the world
Yeah.
like we do in South Africa.
Yeah.
And then you get all the old Springboks.
Yeah.
Rugby players that are riding these crazy mountain bike races.
Okay,
And
okay.
they're actually doing very well. I mean, Joel Stransky will clean up his
Really?
age group every single time he's in a
Who
race.
was the guy that fell off? Was it Joel that fell off his bike and scraped his... It was an epic or something.
Epic, yeah.
Yeah, I
Very
believe
bad
he had a
accident.
Moorish accident.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know
And
what
I
happened
think he got clubbed properly.
You know what happened there? I don't even know.
That's a
He
tough
came
race. Hey, he came off properly.
Came off.
Yeah, put himself in hospital. I don't think he's been tackled that hard in rugby. Then he took himself out.
This is what it's a conundrum for me because it seems like the middle-aged oaks now are getting on their bikes and they're going for a riding and I just think to myself, holy crap! I know I rode bicycle at school and I was, but to ride down these trails here, even in the valley here, it's quite hectic.
No, it's dangerous. I mean, a lot of guys have hurt themselves badly.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll come to my history later. But I looked after EP Rugby for a few years, and I used to chase those EP Rugby players around the field, and I'd take them for runs, especially in all season, and they would all bitch at me having to run. In those days, you'd take the old army 2.4 kilometer, and I used to make them run that. No, they will come and start doing Ironmans. I say, you bloody Bliksums. You minded me when I made you do this at fitness. Now you're doing 10 times the distance for fun. And you're being paid. And you still minded me having to do this training.
It's crazy. But I wouldn't think that it would, because it seems to me like a dangerous sport, like cycling. And I know Neil Biscuit's come off like 4 times or something on his bike. He's broken his collarbone twice or something. I don't know.
I also got one of these dislocated AC joints from bicycles.
Cycling as well. I mean, when you come off, you come off.
So this one in rugby, and this one even worse on a bloody bicycle.
Oh God, man, this is so hectic. And obviously Ironman now is the culmination of this whole thing. What are you busy with at the moment now? Where is your what are you going into work and doing?
So we've got a new baby on the block. He's Ironman Rwanda, 70.3 Rwanda. So we were there for a week. Wow. Amazing country.
This is also heard. I've heard plenty of times that Rwanda has rebuilt itself and is flying.
When we had this guy wanting to buy the license, and we went asked to come up and have a look, and I went to Keith, who I work with, and I said, why do you want to go to Rwanda? That's where everybody murdered each other.
I know.
I don't want to go there. I go to my wife and she says, no, you're not going to Rwanda.
Yeah.
And
genocide, that's the first thing you think of.
But true. I promise you get there, you actually have to search for rubbish. 2 days a month, you have to not drive a car, you have to either run, bike, and clean. It is absolute. It's a Singapore, Africa.
Sure.
It is spotless, everything works to clockworks. I wish we could take some of our politicians there and go and to learn to actually understand what you can do with the
Yeah,
country if
to
you
motivate.
everybody, the entire country has got one goal, and that's to uplift themselves.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing country.
And it's obviously working, because I've heard from so many sectors. I mean, I know my cousin works with Continental.
Yeah.
I know that the tyre guys are going off there.
No, it's really it's amazing.
So it's obviously construction is like big there too.
Yeah, I was there 6 months ago.
Yeah.
A major road that takes us 10 years to build there.
Yeah.
6 months.
6
Done,
months,
dust to dust. And everything's okay. They only got really major linking roads, and then the ones are dirt after that. But those roads that are done are immaculate.
Yeah.
And the old Donny is on the side of the road with her little broom,
Yeah.
and she's sweeping with a grass broom her little area, and she's weeding the area. Everything is cut and manicured, and
so they have their areas that
they are so proud of their country and where they're going.
That's fantastic.
Gives
And
you hope for Africa.
it is, and for PE in particular, I was just saying, I just spotted just before I went on the show that PE is now outstripping everywhere else in the country as far as people searching for property and people looking to move down here for lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I mean, particularly with COVID, obviously it's given it an extra boost. And I mean, if we to do the same thing, you motivate everybody, it's going to happen.
But it is a matter of education from the poorest of the poor.
Yeah.
That you can see all these kids are walking to school. There's old granny's walking up. She's got a bag around her head, and she's got all the potatoes, and you must see them ride their bicycles. They've got this dog wheel, and he's got 100 kilograms, and he's going 70 k's down the hill with me, and he's got on this foot he's got a tire of a car, and that's his brake. But and they just it works. Everything works with a common goal for the betterment of everybody. And it's
we've
it's
got to
really
do it.
amazing. We can do it.
And Ironman is obviously something that can help, especially in PE here. And I know that there were moments when we were possibly going to lose it. What was that? Was that touch and go?
No, that's one thing
just
about PE.
newspapers?
People make up their own story. It's like anything. We have your ups and downs, and you have to work with certain people and certain politicians and certain industries, and probably find I'm not always the easiest person to work with either, but because I'm very structured and I want things done my way, but that's what makes a race work. But this is our home. We love the city, and it's actually built for Ironman. It actually works. Everything works here if we just must keep that level. But I'm afraid to say athletes vote with their feet. So when the athletes no longer enjoy the city they're in, which happened up the road from us, the numbers go from 3,000 down to 800 down to 400.
Okay.
Then no matter how much money the city gives you, the people don't want to come to your city. You have an issue, and we have to then cancel.
Okay, so it's just literally, if people want to be here, they're going to be here now. And how are the numbers looking for the next one?
Okay, so we're at a race in November, so we also brought in a new baby. So we're doing a 70.3 in the Ironman for the first time ever.
Okay.
So I've had to restructure the route. So there's some nice curveballs coming the guys' ways. So there's still from Kings Beach, a 3.8k sea swim. Once the last athlete goes into the water for the Ironman, when we know that the last athlete's more than 3/4 of the way through the swim, we'll send us 70.3 athletes in. So it's about 2 hours after the last guy rolls in.
All right.
Then the 70.3 guys go behind them, and then they do one loop where other guys are doing 2 loops.
Okay.
So it's really going to be great for the city. So we're up to over 1,000 athletes already.
So that's fantastic. So it's going to be a killer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In future, this race will go to probably 3,500 athletes, but obviously with COVID and with us already racing in November, there hasn't been much time.
Okay.
But our international numbers are not where they normally would be because of this. This new Omni bloody knocked us properly in December.
Yeah.
But you see what the rest of the world is doing. We're going back to normal.
Despite that, I think, and now with between now and November, I think it's
next year it's going to be we got to hopefully before April we open up. We need to go back to full spectators, VIP awards, public deck, so we can have a bit of a gooi. We like Ironman Oaks like to have a gooi when we finish. We train hard so we can have a throw afterwards.
A little pump, for you.
Good.
Because Neil Bissiker sent me a message saying, "Are you guys going to move the Ironman to Durban or not?"
No.
He says you'll refuse.
No. I love Durban, but I'm an Eastern Cape boy. born and bred, lived here my whole life. I ain't going anywhere.
There's it. I mean,
Once you're in East Cape, you're in East Cape. Even though they emigrate to New Zealand, they still come back here to talk.
Ronald's my man. He's there. Let's have a look at some of the comments while we're here now. I see there's a couple of Brian Wilkinson. The amount of organisation that goes into Ironman is unbelievable. Had the pleasure of the Boardwalk team to sit with Paul and Keith in the early days. Wow. And they brought the greatest event ever to hit our shores. Brian, of course, was F&B, I think, manager as well, but he was always involved in all sorts at the time.
We had some good after parties.
Oh, really? I'm sure
we won't touch on those after parties, but yeah, we had some good after parties.
Oh, man. And Lindy Bartolo says, how's it, P? Is amazing. We love coming down there. And Sean Sullivan, good evening. Good evening, Sean. Indeed. And, I think, when was the first Ironman done here? Was that?
So I sold my bike and expats in 2002. Never done this before, and then we had 480 people doing. In those days, it was called a half Ironman, but now the new 70.3.
Okay.
So the little finish line was in the Hobie Beach little link road down towards the pier.
Yes.
So that was 2000. Yeah. So we would have been 20 years old now without COVID and all those things.
We couldn't do it during the
we
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years that have been out.
Well, we did last year's, but in November, so April, so we lost 1 year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
we were all the people, So
19,
yeah.
So it just shows you it's like having a world war. This pandemic is.
We needed. We need to now just
get out.
Let the strongest survive, and we needed the world to come back to normal. We just can't afford this anymore. It's just so devastating for. Yeah. So many of my suppliers, so many of families, and yes, I understand. It's very easy to say when you haven't lost loved ones, and I have in my family as well. But I'm a firm believer that when your number's punched, it's punched.
Yeah.
You can be swimming, you could be walking in the bush. It's whatever you believe in. If that man's punched your number, it's your number. It's just my philosophy in life. You gotta live life. I've had, as I said, a very good mate of mine was killed. I haven't seen him or spoken to him. He actually sent me a message 3 weeks ago to say I must look for a bike for him. Training for Ironman, and a Porsche Kern hit him from behind.
I saw that in the news.
Yeah,
as well.
So I mean, 2 years ago, 52, prime of his life, and so that's why we've got to get out there and live our lives, man.
It can happen to anybody. Anything can happen at any time.
But I think that's what COVID has taught a lot of people is. We need to get out there and live.
We do, absolutely. And also your connections with your family and your connections, that sort of thing. I mean, it must have been a hell of a shock for you guys as well. I mean, for the musos, it was just like no work. So everybody's working around in a bit of a dwell.
We were just very lucky. We were part of this very big corporate that saved us in South Africa, specifically in the Middle East, because all the European countries were put in furlough, and the government paid their 80%. Said we all dropped our salaries. Not like government where you get paid 100% of your salary and you still do no work. But
that's still the government.
But so that's what you can say made a big difference in our company was that in the European and a lot of the American companies, they were all on furlough and got 80% of the money from the government, so which then saved the industry on our side. But musos and other professional sporting codes and a lot of smaller so-called moms and pops races have just disappeared. I mean, if you actually go and look at what 2019 at the peak, because everybody is flying. If you've seen how many people have lost their companies and that relied on sporting industry. So the musos, the commentators, the sound and lighting companies, big sound and lighting companies in this city have disappeared.
Sure, I know Magnetic Storm has survived the thing, but there are a lot of guys that haven't, and a lot of guys that are sickled. And people like Mike Zoetmulder suffered such a lot, but he's kept going, somehow.
He's also reinvented, so now he's a timer as well. So Mike's coming to help time it out, man.
Excellent.
He helps out at the timing company. But Mike's a survivor.
He is a survivor, and I absolutely love it. We was actually have a drop in with Mike again, see how he's doing. But I mean, so in that first little section, it was just a shock, and everyone was in shock. But now you're saying your friend is knocked over. Just to go back quickly, because it's been such a problem that it seems like that cyclists or drivers and cyclists are in this at loggerheads.
I think it's actually a worldwide phenomenon. If you actually look at how many guys, it's just not in South Africa as well.
Yeah. Okay. So
cars are getting faster and faster, and I'm afraid to say people's regard for each other has also seems to have taken a slip.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of this stuff also doesn't
Yeah,
help when you're
doesn't-
driving a car in a supercar that goes as fast. And
Doesn't help,
I mean, and we're talking about Rwanda. They've got a speed limit of 60 k's on all the roads.
Really?
On highway, 150
So you're
k's.
gonna fly if you want to go
Yeah,
somewhere else.
I was coming down the course.
Yeah.
I went through 2 speed traps on my bicycle. I said that it was a flashing when I was going past.
On your bike. Oh shit.
On my tripods, coming back trying to make up from that because it's a kilo of a course. It's the first one. I had to redesign it.
So you have to go in and sort the course out. Part of operations. Because you're operational director.
That's right.
Director of operations for Ironman.
So I said the first time, I'll just give Mike from Red Cherry a bit of thing. Mike gives his bloody mountain bike course, but he sets him on his motorbike until we have to ride the damn things, and then we're swearing at him. That we did a race in Transkei last year, and he only joined one day, and we said, "Now you know why, you bugger, because you didn't have your motorbike." Yeah. But joking aside, so I set the course in a car.
Okay.
And I took my bike this time, and I quickly. After 22 k's taking me at 14.5 k's an hour for 22 k's, I said, okay, this is not going to work.
So you had to
I restructured the course the next day.
So you do make it a little easier. So at the time,
as best you can in the conditions. That is just mountains there. It's 1,300 to start.
Yeah,
and then it's just clouds.
Okay. So
it's going to be.
But I mean, also there's a little bit of political game in these races. I mean, if you're organising a particular running, to get a flat course is quite lekker. So everybody gets their good time. So then they're more encouraged to come back next year. Is that a thing?
Yeah, no, for sure it is. So I mean, worldwide, you'll see the flatter, easier races are slightly more popular. But I mean, that's the one thing about Ironman. It is probably one of the hardest single day events in the world, and there are certain cutoffs. But if you really make it too difficult, people got to fit this into their lifestyle. They're just trying to come back. They'll come do it once, twice. So it is a balancing act. Trying to find that right act.
It's slightly balanced. We've got to balance everything. Yeah. I mean, I love my running. I try and run all the time, and I'm gonna drill you for some information on how I should be eating and stuff later. We'll talk about that. But so
don't do what I do.
At the moment, though, you guys are obviously then busy with this Rwanda story. How many races are you guys involved in around the country?
So
any other places? For Ironman South Africa now we're talking about.
So Ironman South Africa we're obviously doing.
Was Ironman Africa now?
We ran to middle Africa because it's easier for Europe to like. There's a new Egyptian race and there's a race in Morocco as well, and there are some in the Middle East. So we form part of EMEA, Middle East, Africa, and Europe. But we go to probably Central Africa because it's easier for us to get to that point and then for Europe to come down. So in the South African context, the company, we obviously just left Buffalo City, so we got the Port Elizabeth event. We've got the Durban event. We've got our new event starting in November, East Mossel Bay. That's a brilliant course. Nice. That's going to be a very nice race, it's flying. And then our new baby on the block for Ironman is the 70.3 Rwanda, which we opened on Monday. Which
is the first one out into Africa?
Into Central
Africa,
outside of South Africa.
Okay.
We were looking at Namibia, but COVID put a bit of a kibosh on that, so that's still maybe come out. And then the company also then manages and owns the Wines to Wales and the Cape Epic.
Wines to Wales. No, just quickly.
So Wines to Wales 3-day mountain bike race, beautiful race. They're through the winelands. Another story.
Where do you start? When in Amanus or what?
You want to talk about funny stories? So, I've got a riding mate, Andrew McKenzie. We always do the
Andy.
So
Andy's an absolute machine, guys. This guy is like.
He's a trail runner.
He's a trail runner of note. You just can't. There's no way to catch him. He's like and his brother Brad as well. Also like a bulldog.
But that's Yeti.
Yeah, like a bulldog.
That's a Yeti. But so Mac and I roped him into the first race, and I said, "No, it's an easy race. we only have to ride. We were only riding 40 k's, and it was actually PE plate. so Mac and I had a long go together, but
So PE to plate.
Yeah.
Is it only 40 k's?
so but I forgot where.
So we're going Mossel Bay, and
So we were on Ones to Wild.
Ones to Wild.
We actually did that this year.
Okay.
But I had knee operations and COVID last year with a few other things. We didn't get to do much training, and this was a transferred race from April last year.
Okay.
So we both sitting at Bocadilla's having breakfast, and I say to Mac, "Oh man, we'll be fine. It's all downhill." So Abel says he's walked into the conversation,
Abel, yes.
and he says,
Ravenstein.
you guys realize they've reversed the route this year. You're riding from Hermanus up the mountain."
No.
So we were just about to book our accommodation to start the race at the finish. I mean, at the start, because we thought it was at Hermanus. We were going to book in Hermanus. That's what we thought we were finishing.
Change your...
So we swapped everything out. And we actually died. So Mac, sorry, but I had to push Mac up all the hills.
Really?
Because he suffered. He really. First day in the medical tent, second day we pushed, third day we pushed. But yeah.
Well, there's a problem with the Mackenzies that
they like to collapse in the finish line.
They collapse, and I mean, Brad has done how many comrades, man, and he's like, and he's always flipping, throwing up, and.
I did a trail race with him. 3-day stage race trail race.
Oh my word!
And same thing. We were running along the final day on the beach. And he was seeing dead birds. There were dead birds. He was absolutely broken and then you have to take him to the finish line. You have to walk him in circles because he wants to collapse. Yeah. You have to walk him. So yeah, that's a Mackenzie problem, eh?
Yes,
Don't be a Mackenzie.
Well, it's like it's like a pit bull. They just don't. Their mind won't give up.
Yeah.
So their bodies just go and go, and they're so strong as well. They just go and go until they collapse.
Yeah, exactly.
Brad Mackenzie, you nut. Oh no. And so so
that, and then the Cape Epic, the big baby.
So it finishes there in Hermanus, and it's got the whales and the thing, and you have a little dops. But I see you finishing our way around.
Yeah, so now I finished at Lawrence Estate. So
Lawrence Estate. That's where they
started that, and then they finish at Hermanus. Now they start at Hermanus. So they're alternating years.
Oh right. Oh, nice.
And then our big baby, obviously, is like the World Championship of mountain biking, which you have to. They were trying to make it like Kona, so you'll eventually have to qualify to Cape Epic.
Yes.
Get a slot throughout the world, like Kona, Hawaii, which is the World Championships of Ironman.
Yeah.
You have to win a start in your age group to get there. They'll always have the pros in that, but I'm talking about the average Joe. So
okay.
You won't just be able to enter the race as it goes. So we got a new one. There's one in the Swiss Epic. Okay. We have one down in New Zealand.
Okay.
One in Australia, but there's new races starting all over the world that form part of the Epic Series.
Epic Series, okay,
yeah.
Wow! So now it's become a whole thing, and is that also part of Ironman?
Yeah, so
International?
Ironman, the company owns all these races.
Gee whiz.
So we're also going.
So the Epic started in South Africa, though.
Yeah.
So
we
bought that we've now exported.
Yeah, we bought it 4 years ago.
Wow.
So the holding company bought that, and they're now doing that. We started to do the same thing with trail running.
Okay. Okay.
So trail running will also have qualifying starts to be able to go to the.
Where are you going to? What's this other 100 miler? You're going to grab that thing? What's it
Yeah,
called?
so
Washi.
No, that's a road.
That's a road.
We stay away from the road. We need the proper trails.
Okay. I mean, what are the major trail runs? What are the most popular trail runs at the moment? I mean, I know the smaller ones that we do.
Yeah, so this is called Ultra Trail. So the Ultra Trail series is now being launched. So it was actually launched today. So if you go and do the Google, you'll see there's a whole series of new races, and some of those races.
They're all like mega distance, or?
Yeah. So it's up to 100 miler. 160 k's, so it's 100 miler trail race.
160 k's.
Yeah.
This is like a Stephen Lancaster.
So it's varying from 60 up to 160 k's. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's also a single day going through the night to the next day.
Because the Epic is also like a multi-day.
Yeah, that's
thing.
8 days. So 8 days.
8 days of riding. How many k's a day?
It varies every year. They change the courses, but there's proper climbing. It's not like a little run in the middle.
Okay, geez,
like over 2,000 meters of climbing per 80, 100 k's. Yeah.
Rapperoonie.
Yeah. No, that's the proper. That's not a easy. You don't go and hack a epic.
You can't.
No,
You can't.
no.
It's just a couple of things here. Let's see if we've got a couple of comments. Yeah. The only crap thing here is that the speed limit is 50. It's in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And the highway's 100. But as far as cyclists goes, the roads and sidewalks, which are quite wide, the cyclist track painted. So, they're very nice. Look at how nice the New Zealanders are. They are very correct all the time. Pedestrians and cyclists are very well respected, and they're almost. It's almost like they have the right of way.
Yeah,
Do not dare stop for a pedestrian at a zebra crossing.
So I was running in Germany once. So I was running like we do in South Africa against the traffic. The people stop their cars. You can't run this side. You need to run that side with the traffic.
Oh, really?
And New Zealand is exactly the
same
same.
thing.
Yeah,
They
you don't
tell you,
go
they
do
tell
that.
you.
Yeah.
When people are cycling on roads, they're supposed to be stopping at stop streets and robots. Or do they have the right of way? We've nearly resulted in many accidents. Well, I think they should try and...
No, you've got to obey the traffic rules. And that's where when you go to Europe, the right of way, as in a normal road, is for a cyclist. You'd never bump a cyclist there.
Yeah.
It's sacrilege.
Yeah.
But those guys never break the rules.
Okay.
And that is a big problem in South Africa.
Yeah.
We have these big bunches, and the guys go
they just
crazy.
go through there.
But I'm Ironman. Ironman, you're not allowed to ride in a bunch. You actually have to be spread out. So if when you Ironman athletes don't ride in bunches, so it's not us.
Okay. So is that the Ironman?
You have to have 10 meters between each bike in the race. You're not allowed to be on each other's wheels. That's called drafting, and you get a penalty. 2 of those, and you get disqualified.
Well, so you're not allowed to draft.
If you get caught drafting, it's a
far?
3-minute penalty. 10 meters.
10 meters between you. So you have to be 10 meters. So they have to be like that.
Yeah.
And
So it's not us.
No,
It's a
it's not
cyclist.
them. It's those cyclists.
It's a cyclist buggers.
What do
not
they
the
call it? A
triathletes.
peloton?
Peloton, yeah.
Peloton or something. Oh, gee whiz. They can be a little bit irritating, yes, but when you're in one, then
They're
it's
lovely.
quite fun. So you just say, Camilla, you need to go and ride in.
You're going to ride with them. Join them. If you can't beat them, join them.
Yes, and I just say like the amount of people that are riding bikes and getting bikes is phenomenal. I mean, there's bike shops around that are actually selling a lot of bikes.
Well, the biggest problem at the moment is there's a shortage of bikes.
Really?
So you cannot buy new bikes. You cannot get parts and you cannot get spares. So the price of bikes, not because of rand dollar, which is bad, but it's just there is nothing available because of COVID.
Well,
Everything, all the factories shut down. So you can make a fortune.
Got a Western Flyer somewhere in the garage. I was having a look.
Well, you actually get a lot for those if you look after it. If you look after it, it's a collector's item. You'll get money. Yeah.
No, I don't know. Mine was welded a few times, I think.
Because of character.
And so the Cape Epic is also an amazing race, and there's, like I said, 8 days. And have you limited it yet to the amount of people that can be in, or is it still open?
COVID.
Yeah.
So
so
you can only obviously get a certain number of teams onto the thing, and it's all through private farms, which is you wouldn't be able to go and ride most of those routes outside of doing an epic, which is brilliant.
So that's part of operations.
Yeah, luckily it
running,
doesn't fall under me.
Not you.
No.
Running, hallo, Stefan. Kan ek
Kan ek 'n bietjie wyn drink asseblief?
Ja, ek kan jou 'n bietjie bottel brandewyn bring as jy net maar jou hek oop gaan laat.
No, that's a separate. We've got a Cape Town-based team that runs the mountain bikes.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I mean this and as far as Ironman goes, I mean, is there there must be like a huge process to do this thing. I mean, you just think of traffic and
the most irritating thing is when somebody doesn't know me or doesn't know what you actually do, says, "Well, what do you do for the rest of the year?" I know, one day, come and work with our suppliers and our.
I'm sure you start straight away. I mean, it's literally.
We've actually
you have a holiday after the Ironman and then start.
I wish in the old days we only raced one race.
Yeah.
Now we've got so many built up and they build up through the season.
Yes.
So it's not like Europe where they have snow.
Okay.
So that's why we have Durban in June. So that used to be a holiday. Now
that's a winter race.
Yeah. Especially the day afterwards, we already start debriefing all our suppliers, all the people. If you're looking at it, there's at least 5,000 people involved in the function of the race in race week. And those are from
like
suppliers.
staff, basically.
We don't know. You must know. So every single department of every single municipality, plus all the suppliers, plus, and then
Yeah.
the hotels, and it's a big operation.
Yeah.
And then so we start debriefing them before we even leave their city,
Yes.
and then we then come back, and
For
then
the
we
following
have
year.
surveys to all our athletes, which come back, and then
Okay.
it's a
Yeah.
process. And your application process is crazy. Just
Registration, you mean?
No, just the applications for the next year to get there.
You're talking about permissions and stuff like that as well. Yeah.
And then your sponsors all want debriefs, and they all want to have. So it's just.
What did we get out of it? So we did our sponsorship. That's what we should get.
Yeah.
Oh my!
And it's the end of the circle working for corporate, and they're wanting
Yeah.
more the next year. So you have to now start trying to find the next spot.
And I suppose that directly after the race, or just at the race, is when everybody is down and everybody's there, so you can actually talk to them face to face too. A lot of the time. So that would be a good time to actually get going on the following year.
Yeah.
And it's always it must be.
And when you're hungover from the after party, it's
I'm sure. Oh man, okay, so good. We're waiting. We're looking forward to a good one now in November. Then it'll be fantastic.
April, sorry. First week of April.
First week. No.
So we had one in November. That was the one that was postponed from last year. So this year's 3rd of April. Yeah.
Is it 3rd of April this year?
So we had the CTC, the corporate race, the 10% of the distance is the sprint distance on the Saturday. And then we have the Ironman, the 70.3 on the Sunday.
Okay. And when you got involved in this whole thing, was it because you're a biokineticist?
Yes.
Biokineticist.
Yeah,
kineticist.
Yeah.
And so that's...
Yeah, so go back in my history, I was born in Dordrecht. And then Dordrecht.
Ja, sê.
Ja, sê,
Jy was een keer daar gewees.
Ja. Ek nou net gevloek het, maar hy's fucking koud. Net so koud.
No, so koud. Yeah, it was.
So there's a beautiful marathon in that area called Rhodes. Rhodes Marathon, 50 k's trail running in the mountains. Goes past Tiffendale's main gate. One of the hardest things I've done in my life.
It's cold.
But at minus 15 at the start, I took my kids the first time. My wife, they were still this big.
Yeah.
She's never ever been back. When the shit house couldn't bloody flush the next morning, she couldn't bath the babies, and the babies were screaming. We have never been. She's never been back. I've been back a few times. Max always goes and runs it. Anyway.
Okay.
So daughter to Queenstown, went to Queen's Junior School, left that, went to Stutterheim.
Okay.
My dad worked for BKB, so he was a sheep and wool officer, so we moved.
Okay.
From Stutterheim, I went back to boarding school to Queen's College.
So you're Queen's...
Some old Queenian boy.
So Queenian.
Old Queenian.
Nice.
Komani.
Is it Komani?
Komani now, yeah. Komani is used to be a hospital that...
oh, really?
The people that weren't...
Mental hospital.
So... went back to boarding school there, went to Technikon to engineering. I don't know why I thought I could hate that. Did my 2 years in the army as a good man, learned a lot about myself, and then I didn't even know what biokinetics was, so coming back to the biokinetic story. So went to study teaching, didn't know what the hell to do. Phys ed and geography were my majors. Did that as an undergraduate degree, found biokinetics, and actually loved it. So I was the first private practice in PE for 8 years. Looked after EP rugby from my second last year university through until Alistair Coetzee reign. I worked with Chris Wiley, all the guys. It was a brilliant experience. And then had sold my practice. Well, I ran competitively, so I paid my university by being a runner.
I'm saying you've always obviously been a sportsman. Like, those Queen's borders were hectic, eh?
Out of the 600, we are still a bunch of Maddox. We're all together. But
what year did you matriculate?
86.
86. Okay.
So I was stupid enough to give up running. So my dad played number 7 for Queens.
Okay.
When he was young, as a skunk. So 6, my skunk master played 7 for Queens.
Yeah.
So 7 and 8, I already had my colours for cross country and athletics.
Wow. Okay.
And I decided, no, I've always wanted to play this stupid game called rugby. So I gave up the bloody running, which was stupid because it probably did more harm than good. And within 2 years, I played 7 for first team.
Sure.
Queens. Got my colours in rugby, and then managed to stuff my liver up just as I left school. I had tick bite fever, but the doctor told me I had glandular fever, so I carried on training.
Oh.
So actually, I couldn't. When I was at 10, I couldn't even puza because
Yeah,
my bloody liver was
yeah,
like.
yeah.
So I used to drive the oaks to all the parties, throw them in the sea at Pollock Beach, and then we go to something good. Those big
Yeah.
those
Yes,
burgers,
big burgers.
feed the burgers, take them back to the rooms, go in the rooms. And I was a bloody driver because I wasn't allowed to drink.
Oh, you just like.
So yeah, then went to the army and had to do my officer's course to be able to pay because I was hoping that I would actually. I did a cure right in the beginning, thinking that the army would pay for me to go to university.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So when I got my rank at the end of the year, we had a proper party. Net soos in Bloemfontein. En ons gaan sokkie en 'n bietjie brandewyn gegooi.
Mooi man.
Ja, ons kom daar by die sokkie and we get into one hell of a big fight. And
Oh no.
I've got a little Oak black belt with me and another guy, and we walk outside to go and have a dop of our brandy. And Oak says to me, "Sas, ag jou ma ook man." And I walk to my room and we're having a dop, and next to me surrounded by Oaks.
Oh yes, like.
And this little Oak who's supposed to be black, well, he disappears. I'm left on my own. The Oak hits me with the helmet on this side, and he, on the side of the head, and he breaks his visor. He said, "Kyk, ek breek jy my helmet." With that other guy hits me in the face like this.
Yes.
And anyway, the next day I had to go to Bloemfontein up to Joburg because now I've been made the special kirat for intelligence. I'm thinking that I'm going to university next year to go and study for free on the army thing, and I must see what's happening. And I get there, and I've sent all my uniforms back to East London to my folks because I'm thinking I'm going to university. I get to Joburg, and my year looks at me and says, "Why do you fuck my jou gebeur? With this black eye and this cut in the head." So I said to him, "Well, it was a bit of an altercation last night." So he says, "No, okay, well that's fine, but you're getting on the plane to the border this afternoon."
Whoa.
So I said, "But I've got no army uniform." He said, "You don't need it where you're going."
Yeah.
They sent us to go and train UNITA. So I was up in the Caprivi, right in the finger. I was learning to speak Portuguese.
Oh, Portuguese.
But I promise you, we were in, they called it a kaiser. It was a mud hut this side that had a bit of netting. And then in the evenings, the elephants used to come and rub themselves. It was like living in a game park. But we got up to so much noise. I won't even tell the nonsense we got up there. But then they signed Resolution 435. We weren't allowed to be there anymore. But we hang around for a bit, and then I came back for my last 6 months. And then tried out. But yeah, I learned a lot about myself. And then, as I say, ended up in the army. And then, as I say, I ran. That paid at the university, paid for my studying. And also...
You're running?
Yeah.
So you're professional.
I wasn't too bad running.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure you must have been good because you're bloody fast now.
But luckily enough, in those days you also got money back. For the first time I found studies. So it's the first time I actually studied in my life. So I love biokinetics when I found it. Actually... So,
a passion of yours.
Yeah. And I said I opened my practice and then met Keith Bowler, who ended up being my partner. And I just started doing triathlon 34. I did my first swim in the Thurs River. And my wife was an ex-swimmer and she laughed at me, "Yeah, I'm swimming bloody backstroke, I'm tired." But when I got on that bike and run, then the accident swim.
Right. Okay.
But so he paid for us to go and do a cycle race around Kailani. His company was M Cubed, it was a financial house. Keith. So anyways, we had this long thing. I said, "Yeah, man, there used to be this race. It was in Cape Town for 2 years. It failed. It was called an Ironman."
Yeah.
I said, "You guys are paid R1 million for this stupid thing. We must put this concept together." And they're going to build that statue at the end of the harbour wall.
Yes.
It was going to. So
Mandela statue.
Yeah. So it's going to. The race was going to call.
Was it Mandla Madwaga that wanted to do that?
So that's a Mandla was a partner of us.
Ah, wow! I must get Mandla on as well. Yeah.
So it was going to be called the Nelson Mandela Freedom Challenge. So we got Specsavers involved.
Yeah. Okay.
And we had these Europeans come and said, "Listen, guys, we applied for this license for Ironman." And I said, "No, you South Africans messed it up in Cape Town. We're not talking to you." We gave the license to these Austrians. They come, so here's their number. So we contacted them, like, "No, PE, what is PE? We're going to Durban, we're going to Cape Town." And they phoned us, they didn't come out there, and they flew up here. Within 2 days, we created a company.
Wow.
Sitting in the little humid, that's no longer there, hotel's little boardroom. Created a company.
Summer Strand Hotel.
Yeah, the old humid hotel, the one that's now closed down.
Oh yeah, it has closed down. I forgot. Humid Mansion's actually closed. I forgot about that. It's terrible.
So we sat in that little room, created a company. This was in October, so it's just before the 25th year anniversary of Ironman.
2002. So
so there's 2002. Yeah.
Okay.
So we formed the company. Stefan, who was a partner in the end, he flew to Kona because he was racing the 35th year anniversary of Ironman.
Yeah.
He phoned us and said, guys, you can find the money. We can host one in January.
Yo.
Keith went, who could sell ice to Eskimo,
Yes.
went to Specsavers, sold it to them. In
Yes.
January, I'd already sold my practice. So this was November.
Yo.
We've never done it. I've never organised an Ironman. Keith's never organised Ironman. The Europeans have.
Yeah.
But they sit in Europe.
Yeah.
So we, from November to nothing,
Yeah.
from never organising something, to January we had our first.
You're not averse to risk, eh? You don't mind.
I just got divorced. I had no risk.
Okay. So it was a change in life for you.
Yeah, it was a change in life. So yeah, and I miss biokinetics, but it was my passion.
Yeah.
So we made money out of my
You're
passion.
still involved in a way because
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
I'm
I still
sure-
see a lot of my old patients, and
I see
still
you into
do-
nutrition as well, a little bit as
Yeah.
well, eh?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm still coaching the daughter and
Yeah, okay.
still doing some rehab and.
Yeah. I mean, I want to know. Okay, I want to know as somebody who runs, like I'll run it once a day, and I'll do a little quick 5K, 6K, 7K, whatever, and I want to try and keep fit. What's the best way to eat in your day, and when do you do the exercise, and what do you eat? Is it
It's such a, you know what, you're some of your parts.
yeah.
If you get everything balanced, and it's not really, it is what you eat, but it's also the how much you eat in single sittings.
Okay.
That you need to get right.
So is it better to do smaller bits?
Again, each one's unique. So for weight loss,
Yeah.
the best thing is to train first in the mornings,
Yeah, okay.
without really having taken in nutrition for a short time.
Okay, sure.
To switch your engine on.
Okay, so like
But you can't
3Ks,
do
4Ks, whatever.
you can't do that continuously for extended period of time because then you'll start crashing your body.
Okay.
So to be honest with
I
you,
see.
rather get professional help
Yeah.
and to get yourself going. So someone who can look at all these variables, because as soon as you overdo and this human nature,
Yeah.
the amazing body is amazing.
Thank you.
No, it is. But you can change your body very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But you can break it down just as fast. So the first 6 to 8 weeks, your engine is the inner part, the blood, the heart, and everything. It adapts very quickly. But your structure takes 6 to 8 months
Yeah.
to adapt to what you do.
Okay.
So now your engine's flying, and you're thinking, yes, now I can
Yeah.
really smash it,
Yes.
and you're going to break down 9 times out of 10 because you haven't let your structure get strong enough to do what you want to
Okay.
do.
So the recovery is actually almost more important.
It's taking the baby steps.
Yeah.
And what most people do is they've let themselves go to pot for 10 years, but they want to get themselves right in 10 months.
Yes, of course. Of course. Quick fix.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to get somebody who's going to monitor everything
Yeah.
and to get it structured. So
Okay.
is there something wrong with being banting? 100%
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
If you're predisposed to
To the-
diabetes and you can sustain that way of eating. And what most people do make the mistake is that they're eating too much protein,
Yeah.
because it's a lot easier to get in. It's
proteins and fats, right,
And then
right.
you start getting all the other issues. So
Yeah.
it's getting the right help
Yeah.
to do the right thing
Yeah, okay.
is what I would always advocate.
Have you changed your mind over the years as things?
It's amazing. So when we studied what we were taught
Yeah.
to what happens now and what the science has changed from to what we were taught at university,
Yeah.
it's
It's on his head.
It's on his head. So
Tim Noakes came in. He
yeah, I
really
read all
fought
his
it.
books,
Yeah.
and then he's the guy who turned everything on the head. But
Yes.
again, it's gone the other way again.
Okay.
So Conrad van Aachen, who's the swimmer rugby doctor, and he's
Yes.
been my Ironman doctor for 15 years, a great mate of mine.
Yes, and Conrad was on our show once. I think.
Yeah. So the next thing he was to put on the tent is it goes through the phases. Now I would say no vegetarians.
Oh really?
Because the thing is, if you training for an Ironman is ultra hard on your body.
Yeah.
The calories you need to get in and the nutrients you need to get in. You cannot do these funny things, and it's not funny. It's but you can't go to the one extreme.
Yeah.
You need to. You can. Some people, but most people don't have the time or the knowledge to get that balance.
Okay.
And then they end up in the medical tent, and then
Yeah.
they become Conrad's problem.
All right, I see. So Conrad's like
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan.
Another Jordan Peterson. Guy?
Jordan Peterson.
Red meat only diet.
Yes.
Oh, red meat only.
Yeah.
Is that his Jordan Peterson? Is that his story? Red meat
Yeah, but
only. I don't know about that.
they get to the paleolithic diet. You get all this, but if you look at the Eskimos, they only eat
Fish. Yeah.
high protein, very high fat. But they've been doing that for
thousands of years.
and they can be slightly more plump because it's flipping cold there. But you can't do that as an Ironman athlete.
Yeah.
So that's
Different strokes.
Strokes for horses.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of balance, and what's right for you is not right for me.
Yeah.
We've got to work into your lifestyle.
Because I always think, like, should I be eating just before I go for a run? Should I eat afterwards? Should I eat, what's that?
Afterwards is the most important because you're depleting what you've burnt there, and you need to replace, especially if you're training for a multiple sport.
Yeah.
So your recovery is part of eating.
Okay.
So if you're not replenishing what you've burnt in that session, and you want to train again that day or the next morning, you've actually depleted your carbohydrate or your blood glucose stores.
Yes.
And it becomes a depletion all the way through to even to your liver level,
Geez, okay.
and all the way down to your.
So you've got to replenish. You've got to replenish after you've done something.
And again, if you're starting off and you're slightly overweight, it's a different story because your body can sustain it. But if you as a very thin petite woman, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have those stores to sustain it.
Okay. So it can end up with liver damage or something. Or anything. It can be anything. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna hit some of these getting to know you questions. I don't know if we've got any.
This is my nervous part.
But we're gonna get to know you as a person before we say goodbye for sure.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
I like to have those little things coming in, makes more interesting the show.
Yeah, especially this ugly mug.
Oh man. Okay, so I think I know the answer to this, but are you a systematic kind of person, or are you just a kind of wing it sort of person?
Put it this way: my wife met me as a patient as a bikinist, and she said I was one of the most patient oaks in the world. And a strange story: we've just been analysed at work to see what our makeup is, but we won't even go there.
Right.
But my first race, I tried the please and thank you, and I quickly learned, do it my way, it's the highway.
Oh, really?
So I'm afraid to say, because I've done that for almost 20 years now, I'm a very structured, very that is this way, and rules and structure, and that's what makes a race work. From every single day, we have a set goal to get to. And there are rules to make a race work, and if anything gets delayed or anything gets changed, it's just a domino effect, and it just ruins everyone's experience. So I'm a very structured in my work environment.
Yes.
At my home environment, I think I'm a little bit more. Ask my wife a little bit more.
Your place a mess.
My wife always says, "Pick up your shit." You want to throw it there? What the?
No, I like that. That's
my garage isn't. Where I work on my cars and that's everything.
So have you got little places for your spanners and stuff?
I rebuild cars just to keep saying.
Oh, really?
I started that probably about 5 years ago. But I watch YouTube videos and I've rebuilt a Jeep, a Suzuki Jimny. I'm busy on now. I did my other daughter's Foxy.
Oh my word! I must speak to you. I've got a little project for you. It's a Heinkel bubble car, 3-wheeler. That we need to get.
I'm not professional at this. I've got a very good mate at plastics.
1956.
So Craig does all my sets. I've got a 47 Jeep, 83 Porsche Targa, which I didn't do. Another guy.
Targa. That's nice.
So I had the guy in PE do that professionally. But then my daughter's 74 Beetle, and I've got an 82 82 SJ. Germany, that's what I'm doing.
Germany, lovely. That's I love that this sort of project. But I just have all the time, and we've got this beautiful little bubble car that needs somebody to.
See, I'm OCD, so I can't sit still.
Okay. You just go. So but I mean, do you collect things? Because this sort of links up. Do you collect stuff or have like cars? Cars.
No, well, I wish I could. I wish I had the disposable income for that. No, but I love old cars. I really love them.
You don't have like collections of old shit at home?
No. I actually found some old Matchbox cars when I was in the crew the other day, and I bought them and I put them with my.
There we go.
nothing.
This is the start of the whole. So cars, but there's something about cars, and I don't know if the guys, I mean, will be able to comment as well. That it seems to be playing with cars when you're younger. Those little cars, you're still attached to them.
Yeah.
You can go to look at 1,000 of these old cars.
I wish that I could go back. If I could change one thing, all those little cars that I played with and collected in those days,
Kept
like
them.
some guys kept them,
Yes.
and I have them. I didn't. I didn't have the patience for that.
No. They just went. They were given away to the next cousin or whoever it was.
Exactly.
You ever do Skyelectrics? That was awesome.
Loved it.
Yes, we had a Skyelectrics track and it was so cool. And also those cars that you had.
Even remember, so I got 2 daughters. I even bought them a skyelectrics.
My sons too. Go. Oh no, Nicole Allen Hollis is such an icon. Love this. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Nicole. And Keith Faree. Paul owes this man more than they know. Incredible, structured, determined man with a plan.
Yeah, but Keith's been a long time
There's it.
partner of ours. in this.
Yes,
Keith's
Spur,
been,
eh?
yes.
Spur.
So sad with the day that not him, but the head office pulled that. But him and his team have always been incredible with us.
No, they're still, and I know he still supports with Gray, the rugby and stuff
Yes,
as well. He
there's
does
always a fight to try and get the stuff from Gray, because it's always just as Ironman to get all the stuff away from Gray, get it quickly down to Ironman
Quickly.
in time.
Don't let those kids eat it. Damn
There's all
them.
his equipment. These poor guys had to work damn hard to get that equipment down to the beach run.
I'm sure they did. Okay, so I like that. I like to hear that this bit of
No, but
structure and
PE is
stuff.
PE is a formidable town to work in. It's a small town syndrome.
Yeah,
So most of my suppliers have been with us since inception.
yeah.
So
Is Specsavers still involved as well?
no. So Specsavers was our naming rights
First
sponsor
guys.
from the beginning, which was brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
they built us
Yes.
to a level.
Yeah. Is it
So
Brian?
Brian Dowley.
Brian
Brian was brilliant to work with. It just was a point where at a stage the race was growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then so your international company now owns the whole lot, and you guys run this Africa section.
Yeah.
Which you're waiting for Namibia and Rwanda and the whole lot. It's going to be like and BE is the base. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, no, but so when we first started, we used to go to Joburg and we were going to see prospective sponsor there.
Yeah.
Now, why PE? Because it's a best kept secret. It's a best kept
Exactly.
secret, and most of the guys that then became involved understood why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, if you look at Property 24, it's the most searched for place in the country. Isn't that amazing? I still love that. I love it. Okay, your happy place. Where's your happy place?
My family, wherever my family is.
Doesn't matter where.
No.
Have you got like a happy place where you...
Bushman's Road.
I love Bushman's. If I could retire to Bushman tomorrow, I'd be there.
Is it? Have you
It's
got a
just that
posse
small
there?
town. Yeah, I've bought a place there 10 years ago with my sister.
Wow.
And just busy buying it out. They've actually bought a place up the road because we're both planning to retire there. But it's like being in Stratton Road,
Okay.
but at the sea.
Start.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if I forget my keys, I just phone my next door neighbour. I say, hey, Anne, I've forgotten my keys. I don't worry, just come and pick them up. Something's missing or something's going wrong.
Yeah, you
there's-
phone your neighbour.
Yeah, but they phone you.
Yeah,
Hey, you've
yeah.
left your gate open or someone's
Yeah.
been... I love it.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Bushman's is got it's beautiful there as well.
That also the beachfront.
Yeah.
The Kenton side is
Yeah,
for the
the-
hoityploities. I leave them that
The
side.
lagoon,
I like the
you know.
bullshit side. Yeah.
Yes. And then of course just hop across Shelley Beach, Middle
Yeah,
Beach,
no, it's
Kenton.
beautiful.
I mean, and I think properties there also going for us.
No, it's fine. A lot of in December, there's so many people from Joburg that have actually since COVID moved down there.
Yeah.
It's like St. Francis. It's just actually becoming Joburg by the sea now.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then it looks like PE's next. So Kawega's on the radar. Okay. What would you say your biggest weakness is, and your biggest strength? Let's just do them both.
My loyalty and my if you're my mate, I'll die for you. That's always been me. My weakness is probably most people don't believe it, but I'm a very shy person.
Yeah.
In a normal setting.
Yes.
So if
I've been a big talker. Yeah.
So if I go into an environment where I don't know people,
Yeah.
I'd rather go and stand in the corner and I'm actually an introvert.
Except when you come to my gigs at the races.
So when I
and
know
you
your
sing.
songs, I'm going to sing
You
with you.
sing.
No, I've actually come out of my thing. But I think a big perception of people is that maybe I'm arrogant, but I'm not. It's just that it's something a persona I've had to create to be an Ironman.
Often shy people because you don't, they know what I think it's a case of because you don't talk a lot, people just assume things about you. And
I think in the Ironman environment, I am a person that's in the forefront in that, but in a social setting, I'm withdrawn. So maybe they perceive that. So I don't know.
No, I can get that. I get that, absolutely.
Maybe sometimes too hard ass.
Okay, right.
But,
your way or the highway.
I think I've ruffled a few feathers in this town with suppliers and with people, but that's it was forced on me. It's not my natural way.
Yeah, of course. Are you a conflict avoider? It doesn't sound like getting moored with helmets and stuff.
Yeah, but they take me on, then I don't stand back.
Okay.
So I'm never one who look for the fight, but I don't stand back from a fight.
Okay. So you'll be there.
No. And with my mates in there, I'm in.
Okay. Oh dear. Especially when they're...
And if it's a Mackenzie, we're in trouble. Because Mackenzie's going to look for that shit.
They got that Scottish thing.
Especially when it's a local South African support team or All Black, we're in trouble.
Oh dear. So Brad and Andy...
Well, but Brad won't even go and watch the All Blacks and South Africa with his dad and his brothers because he knows it's going to be a fight. Andy will stay at home.
No. When you got that Scottish blood in you, also, you don't stand back for nothing. In fact, you go out and look for
you prod it until it moves.
You prod it until it moves. That's right. Through your accent, sorry. You speak Xhosa as well, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
Is it?
I grew up, my first language I could speak was Xhosa, yeah.
Really?
I had a black mother.
Oh, well, really?
She started working when she was 13. She died when she was 68. She had moved with us everywhere. She was my mother.
Yeah, amazing.
I've got two brothers to her.
Yeah, okay.
One's an accountant in PE and one works at Engine in Durban. Yeah.
Okay.
We've always. My dad grew up in the Transkei. After my mom grew up in the Transkei, my dad grew up on a farm in Elliot, and he spoke Xhosa better than most Xhosa people can speak. More correct.
Yeah, that rural Xhosa.
I wish I could speak it better. I rape it, but I can help myself.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm cross.
I'm sure. Okay, your pet peeve.
My pet
pisses
peeve.
You off, what pisses you off? Oaks driving too close to you on the road.
I'm
giving you ideas.
No. But to be honest, you say I come on my motorbike. People not in this town right now, and robots. Robots are stop. Actually, I have to use every single robot as a four-way stop.
Yeah.
The rules in PE. Nobody's following the rules. I don't know what. Maybe we need a few more people to actually buy houses here. But
Eskom switching off the lights all the time, I suppose.
Yeah, no, we can't even blame them, man. Jeez, no, we actually one of the worst drivers ever.
That's what people say. That I don't know.
I promise you, I've driven all around the world. I would rather drive in Rwanda than drive in
yes. So that's a
no. They drive like no. Yeah.
So it's your peeve. Anything else that pisses you off?
People that this new world, people don't respect elders and they don't understand where we come from and discipline.
Yeah.
We need discipline.
Spend the time in the army. Do you enjoy your army time? Do you find you enjoy a bit of that?
No, I'll be honest with you. The army, I'd love to forget most of it because it didn't make sense. They always said they're going to break you down to build you up. I'd never experienced build up.
Okay.
So we were. It wasn't opgefokt more and for no reason. Yeah. It was just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But it taught me about myself. It taught me how much I can endure, and it taught me discipline for sure.
Yeah.
I still think there's place for discipline in this world, and
for sure.
Most people are battling to get into an environment where there is a hierarchy because they're not experiencing hierarchy at any stage of their lives. Now they're suddenly getting into business and there's a hierarchy and when the first time there's a little bit of thing they just lose it completely because they don't understand this world. The
Pay
world
your dues kind of thing.
You actually have to you earn respect. You don't demand respect.
Yes, you can't. You have
the modern generation doesn't realize how hard we work to get where we are.
Yeah.
I had 3 jobs. I had a run off life friends, I had a bike next practice, and I looked after EP rugby. I started at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I finished at most nights 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
They look what I have now,
for so
and
long.
they think, yes, this oak had it easy.
Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah.
No. And especially in this country, everyone sees because of the skin color we had it easy. My folks had nothing. The farmers in Sutherland paid for me to go to boarding school.
Yeah.
I had to work and run every single one of my jobs to play through university and pay it back.
Yeah.
Nothing was given to me for anything. Folks worked damn hard for what they had. And I've got a young black son, Cooks, who's now a cricket coach in the Netherlands. When I first met him, he was actually a volunteer and we were driving around. I was trying to explain to him, how did this little whitey end up in the army fighting virtually our government that's here? And I tried to explain how we were indoctrinated.
Crazy.
And my best mates I played rugby with and played cricket. We ran around all together in the forest of Sutherland, the young black guys. But they didn't go to school with me. But because you weren't exposed and we weren't taught to ask questions honestly. We didn't understand that. So I was trying to explain to this guy and I adopted him. I got him through university. I helped him set up in business and everything like that. Because the thing, and I've built 2 creches in warm location. My wife does an amazing charity. She got a charity, Kids of Tomorrow. Those are all trying to pay back from what we
because in those days we had the foot up, so it's giving the guys a foot up if you can.
I think we had a better education, but you didn't have a foot up as in freebies. We worked for what we had. The education though was definitely
there was.
So here's a classic example. My older of my black brothers went through the old black schooling. He's got no degree, he's got nothing, he works on the factory floor. And he lives that lifestyle because of that. Where his brother, he went through the first phase, then he made it to Sutherland Junior School, to Kanubi Junior School. Then we got him, because he was a very good rugby player, he got a bursary to Selborne College. Selborne College, we got him to UPE, he got his degree, and now he's a top accountant in Johannesburg. Married. So,
it's just
it's a process. It's a process, but you can't keep going back to the past and blaming the past. We need to actually now take responsibility and go, and that's what Rwanda's done. Rwanda doesn't look at the past. They've learned, but their whole drive is how are we going to get better?
Fix it. How are we going to get?
And they all live that thing. That's an amazing country.
That is an important thing that we have to go forward and work at it. Okay, so biggest regret. Anything that you regret?
I don't want to.
No idea.
And again, getting divorced was probably one of the best things for my life at that stage. But you always want to look back and say, what if, and things. And you know what?
Fix that?
But you can look at regret. But that shaped me. It actually taught me lessons and it taught me things. So, do I say I regret it? No, because I've got a beautiful wife and 2 daughters, which I wouldn't have.
Yes, of course.
So, there's always some things you're going to look back in life and say, if only. But if you actually learn, there's a lesson you learned out of those things. So, it's a very difficult thing. So, any major regret in my life? Maybe not waking up, not saying the very last time to my dad, I love you, when he passed away in hospital, but when you said goodbye to him that night, it looked like he was getting better. So I should have said to him, Dad, I love you. And that's one thing you can never.
But that relates to a general thing, I think, where you
when you have the opportunity, you must say it.
And with everybody. So your wife, your kids, your thing, and it's true. You're sometimes so busy you don't think about that stuff.
You always think there's a better tomorrow.
It's there, and it's now. Now it's happening now. And that across the board, like if you want to do something, do it. Just don't wait.
I've actually reached that in life. That's why riding that motorbike. My wife fought me for years and years and years. So eventually, but that's another story. I was working at Singapore Marathon. We owned that for we still own it, but it was going to become the next marathon major, and I had to go and work there with my team. And the first year we went, and I was Singaporean, I didn't have a license. So I came back and I said, hey babes, I need to have a license to go to Singapore, So next time that year I got my license. Meantime, I actually took too, because you couldn't ride a bike there without a license. Anyway, all the staff, because the first year I went there, I only had these little Singaporeans working, yet those buggers are lazy.
Okay.
So when they said I must come back the next year to run all the aid stations, I said, only if I can bring my South African team.
Yeah.
So I took my entire team across there with me, but we all got our licenses. And yeah, I got a bike then at the age of 51. So I'm loving my bike.
There we go. Good. I like it. Okay, let's see. Last time you were hopelessly lost.
That's because of Keith Bowler, my business partner.
Yeah.
He's my GPS. I always have to drive because he can't drive. So we're in flipping middle of America trying to find something, and Mr. Bowler's on the GPS, and we get totally lost, and then it's always my fault because I'm driving. But he's the bloody navigator. Surely, when you're racing a rally, the person next to you is the navigator. So if you get lost, it's the navigator's fault.
Those guys are hectic.
but he always wants to blame me.
No, you never watched those guys on YouTube.
But they call me GPS in trail running.
Oh, okay.
Because I always get bloody lost.
Oh dear.
When I used to be fast, to be in the front of the race and I turn the wrong way and everyone follows me.
Don't see
and
those
the guys swear at me.
They tie the little ribbons around the trees and stuff. You got to follow this.
Yeah, exactly. And they said there's going to be there was one near Nanacha.
Yes.
There was a trail race down there the very first year, and we were coming
Yes.
down to the coast. There's going to be a Land Rover park there.
Yes.
When you get to the Land Rover, they'll tell you where to get. So we get there, myself and another guy who from Dion Kaiser, a tall, thin colour guy.
Yes.
We clapping in the front of the race, and we're pushing each other. We get there, and now we look at each other, which way? I say, look near, he said that. The next third guy comes and he says, no, that's right. So Brad and Mac were behind us.
Yes.
We all turned right and we're running back to P. It was the other way.
Oh no.
So we come in an hour later
Oh, no.
and they had won the race and we were way behind us. So that's what they call me GPS, always get lost.
Oh no, no, I've done that as well in a trail race. So you're running so well and you're up near the front and then you go get lost and come back an hour afterwards. Okay, a common myth about your industry. Any myths?
It's easy.
It's easy. What do you do for the
You
rest
make
of
so
the
much
year?
money doing nothing.
Yeah.
No, I promise you, I had a youngster that does is doing sports management, and he came and worked with us.
Yeah.
A friend of mine from school that was ahead of me, he asked if his son could come and shadow.
Yes, shadowing.
I think you must just, again, and I used to be one of those athletes.
Yeah.
That bitched about this, bitched about
Yes.
that. No, that is no aid station or badly marked or whatever.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor as an athlete. Just go and work in
Yeah.
even a small event. Just go and see
Go speak
from
to
the
Super
build-up.
Builder.
Yeah, from the build-up phase through to the breakdown phase and see what those guys do. Getting up in the morning. At Ironman, if we have more than 3 hours sleep a night for the entire week, that's a lot of sleep.
Sure.
You're up
Yeah.
getting phone calls throughout the night when that issues happen. Someone's breaking in, they're stealing this or you have no. There's some stories that you can hear. But
You must actually tell us a story or two while you're about.
race morning. We start at 2:00 and we finish the next morning at 2:00.
So you don't get any sleep, really.
And then you get people that then at 10:00 on Sunday night, the oak starts looking at you because he wants to walk across the road, or he comes over that fence and he's now walking on the course. I won't be proud, but I've lost it that I've carried some people right over that fence and tossed him on the other side. Even a guy with his ice cream van, his ice pedal, picked that van over the fence, him over the fence. Yeah, no, but I've got Jacques Moore from my security company. He's
Okay.
He's
Big
big
guy,
boys.
okay.
He looks at the weight and that weight jumps.
Okay.
So when I'm really battling, I say, hey Jacques, I need some help here.
Some help.
When they see this oak walking up the road, everyone starts saying, yes, boss. And they start going. They start listening.
Over you go.
Yeah, but yeah, so
Okay.
it's a tough industry,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
most people don't realize how much work goes into it.
No, hectic. And it's all year round. This is the thing. Crazy characters in your line of work. Anybody spring to mind?
Yeah, Greg Ritz.
Greg Ritz. I know Greg Ritz, the DJ. Yes.
Yeah, no, he's my silent lighting guy.
Okay.
And the chirps that he must have this. He's like you, man. He's just got one of those brains. You say something, Greg will turn it around and
Yes.
put it upside down. But he has us in stitches And that's what makes it thing. So we used to have the 51-50 in Bella Bella.
Yeah.
And we used to have a braai every single day. It was like on a resort. The the warthogs are running around.
Yeah.
But Greg is just on a roll. And the nonsense he gets up to.
Yeah.
No, he's naughty.
No.
But that oak pops a wheelie in the back bicycle and he can ride it like a...
Really?
He used to beat Greg Min on downhills. He was a brilliant mountain biker.
Really?
So that big...
Because I know Greg is involved with the bikes, eh?
Yeah. He does a lot of mountain biking races and announces it as well.
Yes.
But yeah, he's been my sound and lighting guy for 15 plus years.
Oh, what a legend!
Yeah.
And that's so nice to have those connections that you this loyalty, like it's
I would take him anywhere in the world because he knows he doesn't just do his work; he's part of the team.
Yes,
even though he doesn't work for me, he just knows.
Yeah.
The year the Big Tent blew down, 2007. I mean, we were sitting 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
The race is finished now. Eventually, we finished the race.
Yeah.
But now that was going to be our awards. It had all our sound and lighting, the big screens, everything in it. That tent was gone. And we had to have an awards dinner on Monday evening. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, we were still brainstorming. And he came up with cold storage. Yeah. He went and sorted out cold storage. He got a music truck, popped it inside cold storage there out at Kucha.
Oh my
And we had it in cold storage. We had a function in less than 12 hours. A full function, sound, lighting, awards, everything done.
That's incredible. Yeah, no, Greg, I've known him for years. He's a lovely guy. Somebody tag Greg Ritz. Somebody tag him. He's got a copy as well. Any scars and your story behind it?
Oh, too many.
Is it every single bone? Or
Yeah, no. When I first started doing mountain biking, I thought I could do belly bunny hop, and I broke a rib in the forest. I've done my ribs 5 times. I mean, the stupid one now was at Ironman. Now in November. We've got Ironman jet skis, which have saved a lot of lives. But I was going to go and lay the swim course. Yeah. And I had a meeting, so I told my water safety guy, I said, listen, JC, don't drop the jet skis where we swim out. The waves are too big there. You need to go to MacArthur Bars. Yeah, okay. So I came in, and you know what the sea looked like in November this year. Anyway, the waves are huge. I rushed up a meeting, got down, then he's dropped the damn jet skis there. Oh. So now you've got a 12 kilogram big grapple hook anchor with a 3 meter chain with ropes and then a guided buoy. Now we have to go and drop all of these out in the course to mark the swim course.
Okay, with the jet skis.
So we lie them on the sled and we hook it all together and go through the first wave. And we just make it out on the first one. Second time we come in, load it up, and as I go through, he gets knocked off. And next wave just smashes me in the chest. I do a ball of Makisi Blackwoods. And I land on my back on that anchor on my ribs. So
blood everywhere.
Cracked ribs. So felt like cracked. Probably just bruised intercostals, but I'd done the thing. But to go through race week, trying to hold that thing. I was actually Ren Harrington, the physio, made a bit of money out of me trying to release my back this year from just trying to tense. I'll just do the job. I mean, you got to carry on. You can't stop. I mean, that's it.
The show must go on. The show must go on. Exactly. Any stories about, because like, you're just talking about injuries and stuff on what is your biggest problem with the Ironman? I mean, is it the swim, the run, or the bikes?
It's always the swim. If someone passes biking, someone passes running, it's never a hoo-ha. Okay. But when somebody passes in the water, then it's always that there's always wanted to be a negligence to this. Okay. But if you look at our water safety plan, we way overcompensate to the international standards. You can't control what happens in there. So I've been sued now for the 3rd time for a death in the water, and that's part of my job. Really? The one was a Pretoria guy, and then the wife said to me, he's from Pretoria, how can he be swimming in the sea? Why do you allow him to? I said, you entered a race in the sea, first of all, number 2, and you need to prepare for the race. You know you're swimming in the sea, but it's always an issue. So they're always deaths throughout the world, but you never really pick up as much as an issue. It's always in the. Is it heart attacks? Is it things where? It's always very difficult to determine why they are ways they can do it, but you need very, very good pathologists to determine why. Because
of course,
you never just go like this, so you're still going to inhale some water.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, when you're wearing the wetsuit, you physically can't sink.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is put your hand up if you're really battling, and someone will come to you. So it's very difficult to say what happens. So it's like in Midmar.
Yeah. Midmar.
They're not allowed to wear wetsuit. So that's a lot more of a risk situation than Ironman, where you can wear wetsuit, which makes a big difference. Okay. So my biggest stressful part of the day is from gun start till I clear the water. So we have a whole system way to clear water. I actually start breathing again.
Okay, so you've got guys all out there. Obviously, you after things happen, you also make allowances. You try and
you can you have to take the weakest swim into account. That's why when I cancel or shorten swims, I always get a major complaint from all the swimmers.
Yeah.
But you got to understand is that you got, I call them plataners from Joburg coming that aren't used to the sea, and even the Europeans and the Americans think they're used to swimming in the sea, but their sea's a lake compared to our sea. So it's very difficult to get that one.
I mean, and what is the most difficult?
The easiest part of the entire race is actually the swim. So it's the shortest part and the easiest part to complete. You have to get, if as anyone who's ever done any type of swimming, you only have to swim 2 minutes and 20 seconds per 100 meters to finish the swim. You can't doggy paddle that slow.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you doggy paddle, you can swim 100 meters in 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay.
So you really have to be swimming all over the ocean, or you haven't trained if you don't make the swim. The bike is probably the most important.
Okay.
Because I'm a runner.
Yeah.
But I always take away my running legs by riding the bike too hard, because I don't spend enough time on the bike. So if you've really done the homework on the bike,
it's not different muscles. It's slightly
no.
Same muscles.
It's the quadriceps and a hamstring and a calf and a butt muscle. They're working slightly differently, but it's still the same muscle group. So don't come with that.
Okay. Not different muscles.
It's a hamstring, a quad, calf, and bum muscle, and your hip flexor are making you move forward on a bike, and it's not as hard in your body biking because there's no eccentric contraction or there's no impact.
Yes, impact.
But it's still fatigued, and then you must run off on that fatigue muscle, and that's the most difficult part, is to run off a bike. That's why we call it a brick session. You actually need to train your body, otherwise you feel like a giraffe.
Yes.
Your legs are doing this, but the more you get used to it, you get into that.
You should run like a giraffe. Okay, Gary's think a couple of questions before we get going. We'll get going when we're finishing off. What is something that people would be surprised to learn about you?
Keith Barrow will tell you that I cry in movies.
Oh, is it?
I'm a softie. So if it's anything, even my wife, even my kids, my oldest one is like me, but my youngest one, my wife, always look at the two of us and say, those stupid twits are crying again.
It's ridiculous. I like that. So next time somebody's
so I don't like watching tear jerkers, because I'm
next time somebody's doing something wrong at the Ironman, it's like, don't worry about Paul, he's just going to cry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the most physically painful thing you've ever experienced?
Physically painful thing I've ever experienced, that ride I just did in Rwanda.
Oh really?
No,
up the hills.
No.
It was like change the course right now.
Change the course. No, that was tough. No,
helmet to the head was not good.
No, that's just a thick bloody head. Yeah, I'll probably say frostbite in the army.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that like?
Yeah, they just make you go through the night just carrying stuff.
Oh,
and you have to carry your mates, and you're not allowed to leave any behind. It's just like 48 hours of just being
rough.
Yeah.
Okay. She's like, okay. I didn't experience that. I was at university, They're protesting against the army.
Yeah. Stupid. I should have done that too.
Oh, no. Your biggest adventure?
We're going to New Zealand for 6 weeks. I did the most crazy. I whitewater rafted. I luged. I bungee jumped. I reverse bungee jumped. I caved. So So Lushing is
Yeah.
like a
Yeah. It's hectic.
yeah.
That's so quick.
Yeah, so quick. I flew on a rocket around a wire. We jet boated. I jumped off a mountain with a parachute.
How do you fly on a rocket?
That's fly by wire. They've got across a gorge,
Yeah.
a wire.
Yeah.
You strap a jetpack on your back and you go.
Jetpack. How's that? That's
No, they're the most insane country on adventure stuff. And we did that for 6 weeks. So that was my top holiday.
Yeah.
They reckon that's still my best holiday I've ever had. I took my kids to Disney World because I always promised them I'd take them. Nah, that's
nothing
not,
to do. Nothing.
that's not my stuff.
Okay.
This,
Jetpack with a wire.
yeah,
Okay.
that was the best holiday I've
The
done.
most nervous you've ever been.
My first race briefing, because I hated standing in front of
really?
people and talking. My first one in Afrikaans. I used to do it in Afrikaans.
Yes, sure.
So eventually, the English guy stopped going to the English one and came to the Afrikaans one because I was talking Army Afrikaans. And I was blossoming and
I like that. Okay, so you're nervous of talking in public.
No, and I studied to be a teacher. I couldn't even give my classes in front of a bloody camera. That's why I went to Grey. And
you look at you now. In front of
forced
the
to.
camera on TV, on internet TV.
Well, I must say, the first time I had to do live TV, I couldn't say phenomenal. I said fucking. Phenomenal. Keith Neal still all got to be.
Classic. Oh no. When did you feel your biggest adrenaline rush?
Part 2, coming down the Ironman finish line in Kona, Hawaii.
Wow. Yo.
Yeah, probably jumping off that mountain with a parachute and a bungee jump. Yeah. So,
Okay,
yeah.
bungee jump as well.
Yeah.
But Ironman kind of that because that's a
that's a different experience. Just come down that carpet and be called an Ironman in Kona, Hawaii at the World Championships. It's very
It's like
special.
the top.
That is hot and humid. That's
Really?
tough. That is proper tough.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Hawaii, baby. Are you scared of getting old?
I'm not old.
I'm not old. I'm not old.
I'm scared to not be able to be active.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
Then you must put me in a
Your
box.
health.
Not in my health. My health, you can make, not to be mobile, not to be able to do the things that makes me happy. My happy place, not just since my knee ops, I started surf skiing. I wish I started that years ago. That is probably one of the biggest kept secrets in this country. Waking up in the morning and you're paddling, and that sun's coming up, and the dolphins are swimming with you, and you're catching waves.
What have you got? A carbonology or a? Who's the chap that does the carbonology?
There are two of them.
Okay.
Two.
So I went for some lessons with Kay McNish.
Oh yeah, but Kay sold me my first one,
Yes, paddle shop.
and she thought I could paddle it when she sold it to me. And I went to the end of the pier, and I was like full of. For 8 years, this is the most stupidest sport ever because I couldn't sit in that damn.
Yeah.
And then Andrew Mack got me into it. So he bought a plastic ski, and I said, "You bugger, why didn't you tell me?" He said, "There's a second one." So we both bought them.
Okay.
This was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And because his mate he used to do it, and then his mate was blown out to sea and passed. So he didn't do it for a long time.
Okay.
So we started going together, and then we both bought boosts after the plastics. After 3 months of riding plastics, I could learn. Then I could, and then I
Then you could ride your other one as well.
No, I sold that thing, and I bought the boost. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a friend.
The boost is like one up from the
we got a boost is one. It's the intermediate. So we got a boost low volume for a slightly lighter go.
Okay.
But I'm at the point now. I'm toying. So my wife
Maybe I'll buy your boost.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
see
the
how
thing.
go.
Yeah.
Because I can stay up. I can go. But now you're saying
I've got a
learn
boost
how to
double, so I love
learn how
taking
to
my
see.
kids. I think it is dangerous. You need to know your wins. I've been caught out. The one day it took me probably a good 35 minutes to only come 2Ks because I had a gale force west coming in, and that takes you straight out to the bay. At one stage, I was just going to turn tail and paddle towards Kucha.
Really?
Because I just couldn't come in against that wind, and that is what
even
happened.
straight
Could
in.
not move.
No ways.
As I said, I just could not move into that wind, and it turned like this. The sea is not something you play with.
Yeah.
But if you, as I say, if you know what you're doing, and you have the right
Stay
safety
close
equipment,
to the shore.
but it doesn't help you. I went to past flat rocks,
Yeah.
So you have to come around the point to come in. I was paddling into that Gulf Force Wester, and it's just, if it fell off, your ski is gone. So that's the point, you must have your lash.
Yeah, okay.
And then at least if you fall in, you get back in your ski. Or you just turn tail and you go across with the wind, across the bay.
Yeah, what do you do in a situation like that? Hey, that's scary.
Yeah, so that's the secret is also don't do it in your own.
And also keep your cell phone with you.
Yeah.
That's what Kay said to me.
Yeah.
She said I must keep my cell phone in a plastic thing.
And go, paddle with a mate.
Yeah, that's it. The luckiest thing that's ever happened to you.
Meeting my wife and getting my children.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Your
She
first,
was
your second wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you, Russell Hill, for referring to
Russell
me.
Hill, there we go. You know, I've got this lady that's that we need. Well, there we go. So if you need ladies, off you go to Russell Hill.
Russell's a good matchmaker.
Well, I think all the ladies like Russell too because he sorts out all their flippant issues. Biggest learning experience that you've ever had?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's so many lessons you learn on a daily basis, but
there's no one particular one.
No, there's nothing that jumps out.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I suppose every single Ironman you certainly learn.
There's always something.
Things. Yeah. And okay. So how's your life different from what you imagined it would be?
I never thought that I'd be making money out of sport. I mean, that was not something I ever thought of doing. I thought I'd be a competitor making a professional.
Yes. Okay.
But I would never have thought of this as a career choice for me. Ever. Yeah. Until, as I said, one day just taking a chance and doing it.
And it just happens.
Yeah.
It's also the kind of job that you don't just see from the outside. You almost have to be involved in it before you see how it all works.
Yeah, I think sports. You normally would have gone and studied sports management at Technikon or university or something like that, and you would then get involved in soccer or in netball or in rugby or something like that. But that was never even on my radar.
Yeah.
And I think it's always good to have a degree.
Yeah.
But to open your, it gives you a grounding, or not a degree, it can be a diploma, anything. But don't box yourself into things. Look at opportunities and see. There's always something that you can.
It's true.
What you do, you've reinvented yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, you've always been a brilliant artist and a singer, but you've now taken all of that and come to this new world. And
it's been incredible. I mean, and the things that lead on from that. Like you say, it's not just about the Ironman. There's all these other things that happen around it. That are amazing.
Yeah, but it's just the community and the friends and the people that you meet and that's one thing I've loved about my life. Is being able to make changes to people's lifestyles and their thing, and that's what this sport has been done. You've made positive impact on so many people's lives. Negative too, because you get these Ironman divorces where the guys that find these like young chickies or young oaks that all train together and they go coconuts, but that's in all sports. But but if you look at
Ironman and Russell Hill, we got two places now where you can meet your partner, meet your husband or meet your wife, future wife.
But it's definitely a life-altering event. It can be all-consuming. Don't let it be that. Anyone that I still coach and help, I force them to have 2 weekends off a month, one with partial training and one family only, because it can become a very selfish sport. And that's one thing about Ironman is normally the guy's good or the wife's good is that they make the race part of it. So when I've never raced at home, I've only raced overseas, and then we try and spend 3 or 4 days in that country as a family.
As a holiday and thing as well.
My wife will tell you in race week I'm a bear with a sore head because it's just
grumpy.
Focus.
It's grumpy Paul,
but after party and after that is the time.
And so final question: anything that's gone completely wrong, or sort of most embarrassing moment, or moment when something's gone completely wrong, and then your proudest moment? Excluding kids. Yeah.
My
yeah.
proudest moment is World Championships here in Port Elizabeth, putting Kabeja on the map,
yeah.
and hosting the World Championship and having a brilliant race.
Yeah.
We couldn't help the rain on the last day.
Yeah.
So I reckon that's probably my proudest moment.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is when you speaking to the lady who runs the World Championship, and you don't realise that you haven't muted your
Mike.
and you let rip what you think. She hears you, and you have to then phone the next day. But it was something about my staff and my people. So I just lost it, and I went back to her and we chatted about it. And that was. Long story short, is when she flew out here, we actually were staying. We were hosting one of the game farms, and we drank a lot of red wine together. And we were so similar on our way of thinking.
Yeah.
So we could, and that's me.
Yeah.
You and I could have the biggest fight now. I'm the guy. I'm gonna tell you what I think, and first you can have blows, but then tomorrow, that's gone with me.
Yeah.
You're my best mate. So probably one of the best mates ever at school with Oaks that we probably had a proper ding dong, but then after that we were in our place and we carried on. So I can't go to sleep with an angry feeling.
Yes.
I need to sort it out and go to bed. That's me.
Yeah.
Not my wife. My wife will sulk with me for days.
Yes, okay. Are you a guy then that phones the guy as opposed to you phone
I must
and
put
talk.
it to bed and finish it.
No WhatsApp story.
No. If there's one thing I could, everyone knows me.
Yeah.
Do
Short
not,
WhatsApp.
Do not send me If you want to talk to me, you phone me. You do not WhatsApp me.
Yes.
So,
I WhatsApped a few times because short replies. I realised I'm realising that.
I don't. I honestly, you're lucky I even saw your message, because I'll look at that in the evening if I have time.
Yeah.
If you need me, you phone me. If you
so no, with Paul, you need to phone him. Because, but also it results from the fact that your job is so busy at the time. I think that you also need to go do things, get it sorted and done.
No, but I'm old style. So honestly, there's one thing in my life that I wish was never invented, was a cell phone.
Yeah.
I like my time and I like my downtime, but this thing, you never ever have that. It's in your face. And I see the nonsense it causes with kids and what they can do on this thing.
Oh man,
It's we would have killed each other with this thing. We would have chopped each other out for the bloody phone.
Oh, Paul, and I'm so stoked with Ironman and what it's doing for this city. It's amazing. PE's ultimate conference. We're going places in this place. Kabeja's going to happen. And everybody in Joburg wants to come down, and our property price is just going to go up.
Look at my properties. I can move to Bushwood.
The greatest moment experienced in Ironman has been the finish line, to watch the winners come home and to watch the rest of the athletes finish the race. It's
that
such
red carpet is a
life-changing experience. Yeah. It's amazing, and I can believe why, because it's so bloody long and arduous. Bulelo says, remember that year when the tent blew? I was working with Greg at Platinum. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cheese suck. And the first Ironman we've flown to, we've flown the PA on a
crane, yes.
On the finish line. We saw, and so it's hard work, eh? Bulelo saying the hard work in those things. That's right, Bulelo, paying your dues there with Greg. Barbara Manis says, always amazed to see see the dad with his son in the wheelchair. Salute him, absolutely.
Yeah, they've immigrated, but I had to cut him off the 1 year, and I think I was crying as hard as the son, because if you miss a cut off, we do not let you start the next leg. And they tried for years and years and made it, and then the following year he got to the bike and he wasn't allowed to start the run. So his son in his says to me, please Paul, let me run. And I'm crying. I said, I can't let you run. He says, please Paul, let me run. I said, I wish, but I can't let you run.
Well, I mean, your rules have got to be...
No, it's all about safety. So again, if you let someone out and they've missed that cut-off and something goes wrong, then you've opened yourself up for liability. And the problem is with us being an internationally based company, we're just in the spotlight on everything. So that's where my personality stickler to rules comes. Not that I'm happy with it, but that's what I say. I was crying when I was telling, but I don't bend rules.
You have to.
I mean, I've had my gun in the air, firing the gun where the guy was 2 steps to come up the bloody ramp,
No.
and I had to fire that pistol.
So you got to close your eyes.
Yeah, no, they're just.
Ay, that is so hectic. Paul, thank you so
Thank you
much
very
for
much.
coming on.
Appreciate
It's
having
been
me.
fantastic, man. And I'll be watching now with different
You're gonna have to
eyes.
come do one now.
Oh, we'll do. I'll be there at the start or something. We must do something. We'll have to do something. But now it's a competition time, so you get to see me playing some drums. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we are going to be doing a compo now. For you guys that are online, you can win a case of Fitch and Leeds. Somebody who can give me the name of the song and the name of the artist in the comments. The first one to get it gets a case of Fitch and Leeds. So let's move over to the drum cam. Let's do it. Ready to go. Go. All right, we're in. We got the drum cans ready to go. All right. I'm in. Ronald. I always say Roland, but it's Ronald. Ronald, you I think he's in New Zealand, but we're going to get you to choose somebody. Let me get my camera back again. Where's camera one, Gary? There we go. Ronald, you are the winner. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Take it to Fitch and Leeds, and take it to Spa, and take it to Fat Cats for our food, and as well as Amobia for our internet. Nicola and the people there at Amobia have been fantastic for us organising our internet, and it hasn't given us a hassle for so many months. Indeed. So thank you. We'll join you on Tuesday again when it's Monday. Could be Monday. We will announce it soon. Thank you to Paul for coming on. It's been fantastic having you on as well. And long live Ironman. See you on Monday or Tuesday. We'll see you. We'll Tuesday. Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. One drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot!
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot!
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino Shot!
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot!
Get to Gino Spot.
Gino Spot!
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino Spot.